Ibrahim, thank you very much for sitting down with me today. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Ibrahim, you are responsible for vegetable seed sales in the EMA region. The marketplace, correct me if I'm wrong, would be one that seems to me to be rather saturated. Is there still lots of potential for growth? And if so, how do you go about tackling that?
Well, on one side, one could think about it saturated, and I would not say so.
Okay.
So it's a very dynamic market, and there's a lot of things going on. If you think about more tasty fruits and vegetables, consumers looking for more tasty fruits and vegetables, sustainability, less food waste, and things like that. There's a lot of dynamics into the sector today, and we really enjoy still growth in different segments of the markets. So it might be saturated for one, but we still see some opportunities in that market.
And how do you go about tackling that? How do you go about tackling those opportunities?
Well, there's still opportunities to deliver better seeds, hybrid seeds, to places where they still use Opium varieties, or better tasty snacking food, so like snacking tomatoes or snacking pepper. So there's opportunities there which we could develop and further chase.
So we are now talking about something that is kind of hanging over the head, so to speak, of the seed industry with these new breeding techniques. So Europe, it's an ongoing conversation to be had over here for sure, and even one that we're participating in today at the ESA meetings. Can you talk to us a little bit about Monsanto's approach to the regulatory side of this? How do we manage this conversation and this dialogue to get everyone on the same page?
Well, that's a very, very difficult matter, and today we were fully aligned with our colleagues in the industry and fully aligned with the ESA position. So we believe that Europe as a continent is forgiving an opportunity here. We don't need more regulation going into a quasi-GMO regulation, because what fact is, products derived from new breeding technologies are not distinguishable from any other product. So if we even choose the route in Europe to regulate and limit new breeding technologies, how are we dealing with imports? So here I think the industry is very much aligned, and we'll have to discuss and further find solutions with regulators, obviously, and that's only possible in a united way as an industry sector. So we are very much aligned with our colleagues.
So we continue to have the conversations, we have the dialogues internally. What does the industry need to do to get that message out to regulators? Other than, I mean, obviously we've got Garlic and his team with ESA working in that direction, but is there anything else the seed industry needs to do to get that message across?
Well, the seed sector is associated with all kinds of local breeders associations. As an example, for instance, we need to all in our sector influence our local and national associations, because ESA is at the big European level, but I think it starts in the national states. So if you take France as an example, or Germany or the Netherlands, we are all linked into our associations there, and we need to try to influence at the country level before we go, obviously, or including the European level. So I think it's a general tone in the society that there's a hype which is against innovation somehow, you could say that. And with that, I think if it happens, we really give some tools out of our hands which help to bring better products to our farmer customers.
Right. Speaking of better products, you mentioned that there's lots of opportunity in Europe within the vegetable seed sector. What do you see in the pipeline coming, or maybe a better way of asking the question is, what gets you excited when you look down that pipeline?
Well, we still have a ways to go to be more sustainable, also in the fruit and vegetable sector. So waste is a big topic, and if you have more sustainable production as well as less waste, resistances to disease and so on, which increase waste. Could be one example. We launched a new product line in Middle East, actually, which is a downy mildew resistant cucumber, which is reduced pesticide and gives better and more sustainable yields. So I think there's still a lot of opportunities, or even snacking and tasty tomatoes. So there's a lot of opportunities in that sector.
So as we go around the globe, consumer preferences, buyer preferences are vastly different around the globe. How does Monsanto take those trends, that trend monitoring and the differences in consumer desires into account as they fashion their R&D pipeline along the way? How do you manage all that?
So we have a team of experts, which we call them trade partnership team. They are working with all consumers, organizations, with retail organizations to have an early trend discovery. You could use consultants obviously as well, but I think we are better off with our own people to go listen to the market, listen what's coming up. Obviously, if you ask a retailer today, he wants a short-term differentiating factor. Breeding takes 10 years. So here it's kind of the vision you need in breeding to come out with something new, which could change the market or which is attractive to the consumer. And we are not different than many others in our industry. We are looking for potential trends. I think the snacking trend was very obvious. So the tomatoes, the cherries, and the sweet peppers and so on. I think there will be more to come, because we also need to bring more fruits and vegetables to people, because health trends, having a better diet. So there's still a lot of opportunity if we have people just eating more fruits and vegetables.
Right. Monsanto brands itself a little differently on the vegetable seed side. Can you just give me a little bit of an overview of how that presents itself in the European market?
Well, we are selling our vegetables under the De Ruyter and the Seminis brands, which are the traditional historic brands. They are associated with the seed industry in veggies, and there's enough brand value, or there was a lot of brand value in those acquired companies, which we just continued. We are not the same in row crops. We are not selling under Monsanto seeds. It's our brands which count in the marketplace and which the growers are familiar with.
Right, and have known them for years and years and years and years.
Correct.
Exactly. So we can read sometimes some of the negative noise that happens, and that negative noise seems to continue to get louder and louder. And I think one of the responsibilities on the seed industry is now to be able to share that message. Can you talk a little bit about how maybe you personally, some of the initiatives that you personally or Monsanto have engaged in to help share the positive side of the seed industry? Because the seed industry has a lot of positive stories to tell.
Yeah, we have to get out much more, and we are doing that. In the past couple of years, we increased our effort to work on our reputation, obviously, as well, but also pushing for the goods and the benefits of the seed sector. We are doing a lot of community things in our neighborhoods where we have plants or entities in any country. People are reaching out. We have a strong link to the communities. For instance, in the Netherlands, where we are, our employees, and we have quite a number in the Netherlands, are reaching out to their families and communities where they're living. And it's an ongoing effort. I personally, I'm much more on stage now. It's not only here today, but I'm out wherever it's needed to talk about the seed industry, about the sector, and what we are doing at Seedsman. Because I think it's not one company alone which can drive the needle here. It's our industry, it's the associations, it's all our colleagues we need to get out and talk about, because the general public does not know much about seeds and seed breeding. And if you hear about technology, unfortunately in Europe, link with technology is first thought is bad.
Right.
So you have to make a lot of explanations and talking to share what you are doing. And if you're not sharing, if you're not open, people suspect you're hiding something.
Right.
So that's why we are getting out much more in the front line to talk.
Well, and I think overarchingly, the company is doing a great job of getting that message out. Unfortunately, over the years, have been that wonderful lightning rod that everyone. But there's some good about that because you can really impact change, and that's certainly what we're seeing out of Monsanto now is that impact of change, which is awesome. So congratulations to you and your team on that concept because I think it's a real powerful one. If you have to pluck off one issue that you see the seed sector in European facing in the coming year, let's say, what would you pluck off as that one thing that we have to be focused on?
Well, for me, it's more geopolitically. So in our vegetable business, we are suffering from the geopolitics like everybody. But war is bad for business.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, we are living through times where we have many of our markets with many of our consumers in trouble. And there's big vegetable consumers in Egypt, in the Middle East, in Africa, in Eastern Europe. There's all very difficult times right now. So these geopolitics are impacting our business, definitely.
Which means we have to understand more now than ever before. Yeah, agreed. Thank you very much for sitting down with me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.